Hey, 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 what's going on, Podcast Nation? It's Jason Harris here, and I'm here at NADA 2024 with my man, Alan from Fuse AutoTech. Good to see you, Alan, man. It's been a while,
Good
right?
to be seen at NADA 2024.
Dude, it's so much sensory overload, but it is so cool to be here. There's such a electricity in the air, right?
Did you see the way they opened the show with the drum line, with the neon?
awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was so cool. Well, Alan, I wanted to grab you and I wanted to take a quick little walk because I really wanted to, kind of get your thoughts on a few things, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that we're kind of going around right now and talking to a handful of experts is...
experts and me. Yeah.
Consider you an expert, all right? Is just kind of like, what should, dealerships really be focusing on this year? I mean, there's just so many changes going on to the operations. There's so many changes going on to the people. Like, what from a dealer's perspective, like, what should I be focusing on right now?
Well, obviously it's a little presumptions of me to be giving these super successful dealers advice, but here's some things that come to mind.
Yep.
The first one is an old one, but I think we can never have too sharp a focus on customer experience. Are we making it easier to buy a car? Let's even say maybe we go beyond easy. Why can't it be delightful? Why can't it be the experience of a lifetime?
Actually fun? Like something
Maybe more than fun.
enjoy and I want to go do?
Yeah, because I think we've got to be looking at two things primarily. One, the time it takes to transact once I say yes.
Sure.
And then secondly, the number of people I have to talk to do that. And we need to compress both of those. So customer experience, number one. Second thing that I know is on a lot of dealers' minds is FTC compliance and security. And I break that down into a couple of areas.
Reading a lot about that lately.
So,
I mean, we got to be seriously aware of this stuff.
The FTC, obviously, NADA is litigating that because the bill as written, almost impossible to follow. But here's the thing to keep in mind. Even after this is litigated, even after the NADA does their good work lobbying with our Congress people, the FTC is not going away.
No, that's
okay. So
it's going to be interesting
gonna
to see
have
kind
to
of like what variation comes out, right?
well, that's right. And my advice is that dealers are going to have to automate compliance. They're going to have to do that with software in their operations. They can't leave it to every dealership employee to remember to do the right thing.
100%. Well, that goes back to the process and technology portion, right? I mean, I think for the longest time, I think there's been amazing dealers out there that have, really stepped up and process compliancy, but that still leaves a lot of gaps though,
Like, here's the key words that struck me as I read through the FTC cars legislation.
Yeah.
An accident, something you didn't do on purpose, is looked at as the same way as a act that's done fraudulently on purpose. So somebody innocently enough doesn't understand the rules, an accident is the same before the law. That's a little frightening for a dealer who's trying to do the right thing. And that's where we need the process and the automation of compliance, I think.
Well, and that's where I think cool solutions like what you guys have been working on. It goes back to that people, process, and technology. It's now as a dealer, I don't have to worry about just creating the process to ensure that I'm always compliant in the way that I communicate or the way that I sell a car or maybe even the way I wholesale a car.
Sure.
But now I actually have a piece of technology that I can actually rely back on, to ensure that compliancy. And it's funny. Look, there's nothing sexy about compliancy. Let's just face it, right? But as a dealer, this is something we need to be focusing on right now.
Well, it is, and you say no, it's not sexy, but the penalty for not paying attention is existential for some dealers. So one of the things that we're focusing on, with Fuse Transact, we really think of this as a point of sale system for car dealers. We've all seen the point of sale systems in every other retailer.
Every other vertical out there.
Where you can do everything on one screen. And so from CRM to DMS, desking, everything in between, that's our core proposition.
Sure.
But it has such an important part to play in compliance, because we can automate all of that compliance so that you don't have to rely on a new employee remembering their compliance training.
Well, and speaking of new employees, I just recently read a stat that I thought was super interesting. Over 80% of a sales team has only been in the dealership less than 2 years.
Isn't that amazing?
Like, right? I mean, just so the experience, just that time and that experience. I mean, I think maybe because I'm just an old car dog or something like that. But I mean, it's just, being in the business for 10, 15 years, just kind of, certain things, right? And
Right.
it's that knowledge that doesn't exist kind of anymore. There's just
So a dealer's faced with the challenge of teaching how to care for customers,
exactly, yeah,
how to understand the vehicles, be a good provider of information to the customers that are coming in, teach them how to close a sale. Now we're teaching them about the law and FTC compliance. That's a lot for a new employee to remember.
100%. 100%. And look, I know we're talking about the compliancy portion of it, but the funny thing is actually being compliant and having that process, and you were talking about a little bit later, and I know we're going to go out here in a minute and we're going to jump in this super cool van and we're going to continue this conversation. But that's what enhances the experience, right? Like for me, some of the best experiences I ever have was one that was consistent and very linear in its flow. Not this up, down,
Start, stop, wait over here.
let me talk to this person. Wait, I'm gonna go get you a fourth person to talk to. So,
And that's the power of technology, certainly our technology, but there's others, is the ability to transform process and transform customer experience. And I'll give you a simple example, a simple analogy. When we go to the Apple store to buy something, every employee in the store has a cash register in their pocket.
yeah, literally. So
They never say, take your purchase and go wait in line. They say, is that all?
that's it.
Can I email you a receipt? You're done.
How simplistic is that?
Now, we're selling something much more complex than just an iPhone.
But still, that's an experience. It's a clean process.
Right. And so what we understand is that when customers have gone through the online research, they spent time in a store with somebody who's helped them select the right car, when they say yes, they'd like to be driving the car pretty quickly after that, not waiting around talking about it.
Well, that's a perfect segue. We're going to go jump in this really cool van right now. We're going to continue this conversation, my man, now.
Yeah, so Jason, what I'm suggesting is a new mini feature for your productions on show shoes. I'm sporting Fuse Blue.
Oh, look at those. I like
the
that.
On shoes.
There we
And
go.
what do you have?
I got Gatorade Orange.
Yeah, what's the brand of shoe?
Air Jordans.
Yeah, okay, so shoes, super important to be comfortable, have a smile on your face the whole show. This has been Jason and Alan with Show Shoes.
Show shoes.